a 4-1-4-1 that becomes a 5-4-1, a formation that we don't even have in the game. That's insane. Hey there everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another Titan Tactics episode. It will be a very special one for me because we will be talking about my most favorite formation in the game, which is the 4-1-4-1. So let's have a look at what I've got in store, guys. The 4-1-4-1, my beloved formation, is basically this, guys. I had created this formation a few years ago now, but I haven't really been using it. Why? If it's my favorite formation, why am I not using it? I will talk about everything about this formation and obviously its disadvantages and why I am not using it as often as I'd like. So this is the setup, people. 4-1-4-1 with a very special player in the middle of the field. Let us start from the beginning. Why is the 4-1-4-1 a very, very strong formation, even though it is extremely underrated? The thing is that when I use, and I will have, like, guys, this requires a lot of discussion. So if you just want to watch some gameplay with this formation, I will be analyzing some of my own gameplay in the timestamp here. Guys, when you use a specific type of player in this area of the field, in the CDM position, central defensive midfield, this formation changes into something completely different. It doesn't stay a 4-1-4-1, it becomes a 5-4-1, because this person, especially people with the marking trait, will drop into position, and this will become, as you can see, something of a 5-4-1, a very, very solid formation in defense. So keeper, usual stuff. This is because I am playing in the Infinity Arena where there are a lot of volleyballers, so I need someone who saves as much as he can, and that is the guy for me. I have hammers on the wings. That is basically required from Arena 11 to Infinity Arena, so I don't recommend, trying different things unless you just want to test things out, which is obviously fine for me. Then you might also find that I am using Simon in defense for the first time. Like, ever since unlocking him, I've been using him everywhere. Why am I using Simon? I'm trying to create a triangle of marking players in the heart of this formation, guys, and Keane is Keane. Okay, he is the best defender in the game right now until Simon reaches max level, which obviously he will then take his position there. I usually use Bertini in this position just because of his extra speed. I have Bertini at level 10, Simon is at level 9, and now we come to the CDM position. Now, guys, in the CDM position, this is one of the most interesting things about this formation, and in score match in general, when you have someone in between the lines of, defense or midfield. There is the 4-1-2-3, for example, which also has a CDM. There's also the 5-2-1-2. Many other formations have a CDM, but in this case, guys, the CDM is a very, very particular position, because with Patrizio, now I'm going to talk about why Patrizio is the ideal man for me for the job as a CDM. Patrizio, as I said in the beginning, has the marking ability, and also he's pretty fast. He has a lot of response, and that enables him to, whenever any of these guys are upfield, he can drop into defense, to cover for them. But not only, because when not in possession, when my opponent has the ball, Patrizio will mark the players lurking around this area of the field, which is basically why this formation becomes a 5-4-1. And if you watch real football, you know that when teams drop into a 5-4-1 position, 5-4-1 formation, when not in possession, they are very hard to break down. And in score match, it does work in a similar way, because this guy is always lurking, always marking, right? Look at this, the marking ability here. Always marking, so that there really isn't anyone free for your opponent to play the ball into in this central position. Now, am I saying that he never loses his marker? No, of course not, but he's excellent, man. You can use a bunch of different players. I will talk about the regular variants of these players at the end of the video, so make sure to watch till the end. You can play many people in the CDM position. You can play Jones as well. He has the marking ability, but he's not very fast to catch up with defenders. One of the problems of this formation is that there is only one real striker, guys. The rest of the strikers are like wingers that are kind of right midfielders and left midfielders, people who are not as advanced as the striker. This is a very rare thing to see in a formation. In most formations, like a 4-3-3, 4-1-2-3, everyone is like beside the striker in attack, but in this 4-1-4-1, you know, you'll have to have someone who carries the ball forward. Now, this guy here is the perfect person to carry the ball forward, because as you've seen, guys, again in the recent event that I just played, Patricio is the playmaker who carries the ball forward enough and then pings the ball either to Aboubakar or my captain to make something happen. But if you have a one-touch player there, it's going to be very, very difficult for your team to rise up the field and kind of get into position. Patricio allows, or any other running player, really and truly, but Patricio especially allows the rest of your team to push up the field, get into a good position. He'll then give them the ball and everyone would be in a good position to score. If you just play, and this is one of the reasons why it is an underrated formation, guys. Many people, when they try a formation, they just chuck guards, hammers, commanders everywhere and call it a day. If the formation doesn't work out for them, they say, ah, this formation sucks, and that's it, basically. You can't play a 4-1-4-1 like that. If you throw a guard or a commander or a hammer in this position, he'll make this formation too slow. These players won't be further up the field as you need them to be, because obviously your commander won't carry the ball up the field. All he'll do, or hammer or guard, whatever, all he'll do is just ping balls like the guard does in this position. He'll just ping balls around the field, and this isn't something that you want in this position, guys. It's very important to have someone who progresses things up the field. Now you're gonna tell me, like, yeah, I mean, that's gonna be very tricky. This position is always a very congested place to be in. You can't have many running players. You need a one-touch player, and I'd usually agree. But, guys, you need someone who will carry the ball a bit upfield. Now, you can play different players here, guys. You can play Lee the Maestro because he does carry the ball up the field. You can play Simon. Simon is a very good alternative if you want. You can play Martina because Martina progresses the play up the field quite a bit as well. Now, a lot of talk, basically just to say that this guy here is a player who really changes the formation. If you get this position wrong, you've basically gotten the whole formation wrong. I'm not saying that Patricio is the only right answer, but he is one of the very few good answers, at least in my opinion. And experience, of course. Let's finally talk about the attacking third of this team. Now, this team, let's start with Aboubakar here. You need someone who is like unreachable, like uncatchable, someone who will, with a tremendous amount of speed, will just burst into position and feed the striker an assist. Aboubakar is that player. Sabre is not that player. This is very important, guys. Do not try to play Sabre here, because Sabre tends to dribble towards goal without caring about providing assists. Sabre is better, as I always say, in a 4-4-2, for example. But Aboubakar is not. Aboubakar, as you can see, passes a lot, and that is precisely why he's a very good player in that position. The same thing, very similar thing here goes with a Prowler. A Prowler in this case, a level 11 Prowler is perfect, but there are other players that you can try in this position. You can try an Intruder, an Engine, a Producer, but a Max Prowler or a Prowler in general will not dribble too much. As you can see, the dribble rate is very low, so he will run along the edge of the field and then feed in the cross without getting tackled first, or at least in most cases. Now, more interesting things about this formation, which is why I love it so much, guys, obviously. Sandberg. Why Sandberg and not, you know, a hammer, a guard, a commander? So Sandberg here is basically a shadow striker of sorts, guys. Sandberg is someone who finds the space, and seeing as he is a bit further back than the Menace, he is always on the edge of the box ready to strike. In the previous event, again, you could see how he shot basically from a very long distances, so he is a very unpredictable weapon that you can use to make things work. Now, the last person we'll talk about here is the guard, guys. The guard here is absolutely important. The closest thing you can use to a guard is a hammer in this position, but I like the guard because he has a lot of response and he plays the ball back and spreads play out all over the pitch, which is always a very, very good thing. A very important thing as well, because we don't have many safe players. That's kind of the problem, guys, with this formation, obviously, that we don't have too many safe players in the attacking third of the field. Piniella is one of them. He's the only one of them, I'd say. He's just great, and he does score a header here and there with great strength. You know, really good player overall and very important to the team. Now, Sokolov. Someone will tell you like, yeah, the Menace is someone that you use in the early arenas and never again. And, you know, in most cases I'd agree. But in this formation, I like using him, guys. And as you'll see soon, the Menace is viable in the Infinity Arena and in events. Now, what does Sokolov have that Sandberg doesn't? Why not play Sandberg instead of Sokolov? You can't play Sandberg instead of Sokolov, and you'd have great results, if not better. But the way I like to play and the way this formation kind of clicks is because Sokolov likes passing the ball back, as you can see, more than Sandberg, who really doesn't do that very often. Also, there are some different upsides to Sokolov. Sokolov is an excellent shooter, guys. His shots aren't as good as Sandberg's. It has to be said, obviously, that the shot power, although it is the same as Sandberg, like the skill of his shot isn't as good as Sandberg's. It doesn't really matter that much in the way Sokolov shoots, but obviously that is something to consider. Sokolov is stronger than Sandberg, which is the only upside to Sokolov stats-wise, but really and truly Sokolov is just a player that he's a bit of a different player to use than what everyone else uses, and that alone is enough of a reason to make me consider Sokolov. That is the premise of this formation, guys. Sokolov, with more of a passing trait than Sandberg, usually passes the ball back, but if not to the keeper, he'll pass it to the hammers, so that play will kind of advance in that way. Now, let's have a look at some gameplay of this 4-1-4-1 in action in the Infinity Arena. Okay, guys, so let's have a look at some gameplay in the Infinity Arena where I tried this formation. And as you can see here, I've lost the kickoff bid, which is a problem, obviously, but you know, it's whatever. And this is the first opponent we'll have a look at. So basically a volleyballer, usual volleyballer, but he's not volleyballing this time around. He's playing a very interesting 4-2-3-1 formation. So, you know, respect to him for trying different things, I guess. Even though I'm not sure how much he had to volleyball to reach 15,000 stars, but that's none of our business or concern. So, as you can see, guys, pressing with our forwards always. And not just our forwards, it has to be either the Menace or Abubakar or the guys on the wing. Now, as you could see, the hammer really won me a very good ball there, and we will start using Patrizio. And what a bad start to the video for Patrizio since he lost the ball. That happens, guys. That really happens. So I'm just lucky that Patrizio didn't cost me possession there. He tried to, but yeah, it didn't. We were lucky. Let's just say that we were lucky in this situation. Now, as you can see, and as you will see, there are many running players in this formation, and running players sometimes means that, you know, we will lose the ball, and that is a risk. And as you can see, guys, what is the difference between Sabre or like speedsters and Abubakar, it is that he does exactly this. He passes the ball. He always tries to find his teammates. There is Sokolov there, lurking, and he scores a lovely goal for the 1-0. And Sokolov always being there, Abubakar kind of diving into position. That's exactly what you want. And you can see also Abubakar winning the ball there again, but incredibly losing it immediately without even making anything of the ball. Unlucky. But we play on. We have Simon now marking whoever this is. I'm not sure. Might be Bertini. No, it's Zimmer. Very interesting. And I think it's because there we go. Nothing to do in this situation, guys. It's Sandberg, so it is what it is. And sometimes you really can't defend certain balls, and in that situation, it didn't work out well. And a good thing about Simon that Bertini doesn't have is that he is very, very smart. So you can use him, as I did there, to basically recycle possession, kind of get the ball moving. Now, guys, look at this very, very important pass here. And I'm going to rewind a bit because I'm trying to figure out the layout of this situation here. This guy's defense is really well stationed, but Abubakar up here, being such a fast player, obviously level 10, 50 speed for anyone who doesn't know, but look at him. He can dive into that position. The ball is really good by the hammer, and that's a penalty for Sokolov, who obviously, if anyone knows me, gets his penalty saved, but he's always lurking. That's the thing, he's always lurking. And he gets the 2-1 victory for my team. Okay, guys, this was a tough match. This was against a volleyballer who was playing with Sabre and the guard up top. So basically volleyballing with a guard, I mean, it's not as unique or as innovative as some people make it out to be, but whatever. This was a tough match, and it's good that we're having a look at this gameplay because I can obviously explain to you guys and see for myself what went wrong and what went right. And I urge you guys to do this with your own gameplay if you have both the chance and the means to do it. Now, look at this. Sabre lost the ball for him, but so did Abubakar. So Abubakar won me the ball in the beginning, in the two games that we've reviewed so far, basically. And he really lost it immediately. Keane tried to lose me the ball there as well, but at least he didn't manage. But that really and truly is just the software playing tricks, man. I mean, whatever. Let's move on because I'd rather not focus on the software in this video. I talk enough about the software here. So let me explain to you guys why I tried to give the ball to Patricio here. So as you can see, the keeper is about to kick the ball up the field. And the 3-5-2 is overall a very bad formation to defend with. Why? Because of the space that it leaves its opponents to exploit, basically. Here you can see that there are so many players. There's so much space. And I give the ball to Patricio in a way for him to kind of progress things up the field. This is exactly what I'm talking about, guys, when I mean that Patricio allows his teammates to progress up the field, and you can see Abubakar there in the right position. Not just like he's a forward, so he'll be further up the field, but if there was a guard or a hammer instead of Patricio, Abubakar wouldn't have had the time to go up the field to get into that position, and that is why Patricio, for me, is an excellent choice. It's risky, as you could see in the first game where he lost me the ball. It's very risky, but man, sometimes you have to take a risk or two if you want to play some unique football, fun football, and that is what, to me, Score Match is all about. Now, usual volleyballing stuff here. Not really volleyball, I'd say that 3-5-2 stuff, I'd say. Pinging the ball around the edges of the field. No formation can really tackle it except for a 5-3-2, I think, or a 5-2-1-2. So all you can do is basically try to tackle well, and in that situation, Sabre really had no idea what was going on. Just kept going upfield. And look, this is a very important situation, guys. And I played the ball in a way that Sokolov plays the ball back. Why did I not play the ball further up the field so that Sokolov could, you know, run through on goal? The weakness, like the disadvantage about Sokolov is that he isn't very fast. And there is Keane marking him. It's always important to see who's marking the player you want to give the ball to. There was Keane marking Sokolov, so there was no point in giving a long ball to Sokolov. The best I could do was use Sokolov to ping the ball back and recycle possession. That is exactly what he did, and I can't ask anything more of him, at least not in that situation. So we keep the ball, guys. And as you can see, there is Patricio there. Weird ball, I have to say, very weird ball. But he does make the best of that situation, heads it to Sandberg, and that's unlucky. That's unlucky. Could I have tried a ball towards Sokolov there? Sokolov, guys, always being lurking there. I'm not sure if Sandberg does that as well, but this was a very tough ball to give to Sokolov. I could have tried to curve it, but there was Keane, level 10, you know, he could have claimed the ball. I think I made a mistake here, it's just that. I think I could have just won it there, because that would basically have been a tap-in for Sokolov. It happens, dude, it happens. So, yeah, might have done things differently there. And this is Sabre, again, on the ball, but he loses the ball again. Not a good advert for Sabre, honestly. I know a lot of people love him, but I don't at all. But it's mostly just the way I play. So, you know, to each his own. Now the guard is an exceptional player in that position, guys, because he is a kind of midfield maestro, but not in the sense that he's too creative. It's just he's so smart in knowing when to play the ball back, when to kind of open play up, and smart is Sokolov here as well. Look at what he does. He basically, let's try to find the time I actually give him the ball. No, this is the guard. But what Sokolov does, and he does it this well, is that he kind of drops down into position and helps the team out. See, I couldn't have played the ball to Abubakar, he'd have lost it. Sokolov dropped down and basically recycled possession yet again for my team. I can't ask anything of that guy, dude. I can't. Now, this was a mistake here, but sometimes, as I said, guys, you really cannot get your team on the ball. I stopped pressing this dude to not create commit a penalty. And it's basically in the dying moments of the game. 10 seconds, guys. Look at this. 10 seconds. And I'm defending for my life here, but without panicking, okay? Even though, well, I won't say anything, but yeah. As you can see here, the guard doesn't even want to shoot, but he basically gets the shot away. And that was a 1-1 draw, which I thankfully won on penalties, if you'd believe that. But yeah, that goes to show you what a difficult time you can have against volleyballers, especially 3-5-2 players, since obviously they have the advantage of having their players scattered so well around the field. Okay, so we are going to face a fully blown volleyballer here, as you can see. Not the most experienced of volleyballers, it has to be said, but I'm going to take this occasion to show you what basically goes on. The defense is basically the same, guys. The methodology when it comes to defending against volleyball is the same. Look who I press here. It's Keane. I press him so that Keane will go up the field and let my hammer tackle his own hammer, as happens here. And that works. That is enough for it to work. The protector sends the ball in. He's ready to volleyball this dude, but it doesn't work out for him. Waste of possession completely, and now it's time for Patricio to take things up the field. Very risky, again, it is very risky, but sometimes you just need someone to get the ball upfield. And now we have the hammer. Now this is going to be a bit of a situation here. I one touch the ball basically between the hammer and the guard. That's an option. I don't like this one touch football, honestly. I really don't. But, you know, sometimes you have to make it happen, guys. And look at Sokolov there, incredible. So there are a few things to say about this, guys. So Sokolov is, as you can see where I've just tapped here, he is always an option, guys, or very much an option in this situation at least. The ball to him is just right, but look at what he does here. I'm not sure who this is. The player difference obviously does help, but the level difference, I mean. But he is strong enough to make something happen. Okay? Sandberg isn't as strong. So that's one of the only, I guess, advantages of playing Sokolov instead of Sandberg. But yeah, great assist there to my captain for the 1-0, and we're basically, this is going to be the same thing there, because this guy only plays the same way, headers. So I really have no problem whatsoever to defend, because it's always going to be the same exact thing, preparing for a cross. And as you can see here, Patricio, guys, marking ability, great speed, great reaction time, and he won me the ball. So now there's Sokolov here, who is running through on goal, but that's the problem with Sokolov that has to be said. I'm trying to be as objective as I can, guys, but the thing is that Sokolov likes, and I haven't mentioned this yet, he likes dribbling the ball towards the box, like into the box. Sandberg will shoot from afar, but Sokolov won't. At least in most cases he won't. So that's a problem, and that's something I'd love to just tweak in Sokolov if I could. I just make him shoot from a longer way out, but obviously I can't do that. So we're here with Patricio on the ball, back to the hammer, and we're trying to make something work. Again, I like playing the ball to Patricio, guys, as you have noticed here. And there is Abubakar with the ball. Sokolov, dude. That's all I have to say about Sokolov. Great player, man. I love him so much. So let's see. I lose the kickoff bid, and yes. This was another volleyballer. Again, not the most experienced of volleyballers, but I'm trying to show you why this formation can work in the Infinity Arena, in the volleyballing arena, if you can, if you want to call it that, because that's what you'll face mostly, just 3-5-2 volleyballing stuff. And now this is a good example of why good response. Here you can see Sandberg here and my captain. Those players have 50 response each. They are very, very ready to press, and that is always a good thing, man. Sokolov plays the ball back again. Lovely, and I win possession basically. Even though I lost the kickoff bid, I've basically won possession for my own. And look at this, man. I remember this. This was fantastic. So even though he's being marked by who I think is Keen, Sokolov is making a run at the perfect time, dude. Perfect time. Look, that is Keen, no? No, it's Dekic. And there you go. Sokolov is always on the score sheet, guys. He always scores almost. He is a top player, man. Is he better than Sandberg? I'll let you guys decide. Probably Sandberg is a better option. But let's not act like Sokolov or the Menace in general is a bad player. Because he is not. He's the farthest thing from a bad player I can imagine. And this is the same old stuff. I don't know what to say at all anymore, but I have Patricio progressing things up the field. The guard, here I want the guard to play it back to the keeper actually, but he doesn't manage to do it. This is a bad ball here by Sokolov. He lost a bad ball. He was trying to go towards goal for some reason, but he does win me the ball back. And now, yes, I remember, this is a very big mistake. If you remember well, in the first goal, I went towards this post and it worked. It was the exact same angle, guys. But for some reason, I go on the first post and the keeper saves it. And this changes the game and not in my favor. Because as you can see, I try to create something here. I try to get Piniel on the ball, but yeah, that happened. So whatever, man. I press. Now that's all you can do. Press. Simon, for some reason, kicks the ball up the field. Very strange to see Simon do that. He's a smarter player than that in most cases. And my same Simon does something extremely... whatever, dude. Anyway, so now we're back to defending from a possible tap-in, basically. That was a tap-in by the guard. Like, he could head it into his own goal. I'm basically defending a 1-0 lead. So, that's the situation. And you have to live with it. And now there's Campbell, the protector, with his head. And Keane is there to do the job. And if you can see, there was Patricio marking him. Guys, there was Patricio still marking. That's why this formation is excellent when there is Patricio in this CDM position. Even though he isn't the one who won me the ball, he was marking him. And that, in this case, didn't help. But in most cases, it does. It's good that there is someone. It's good that the formation is a 5-4-1, basically, when not in possession. So, yeah. And now look at how well Aboubakar does for him there. Volleyball and goal. So, that's it. And exactly as I wasted the chance to go 2-0 up, this volleyballer, volleyballs his way to a 1-1 draw. But the game's not over yet. 30 seconds left to play, and we're in possession. I'm trying to use Patricio as much as I can to progress things up, as I always say. And he does find my captain here. Look at my captain there. The ball really is pretty nice there, I have to say, because even though Patricio doesn't have a lot of skill or shot power, you can find your wingers or your left or right midfielders thanks to him. And my captain basically helps me get a headed goal. But it's great that I headed the ball in, because this guy loves headed goals, guys. So why not give him something that he loves back? Yikes. Okay, let's have a look at some player alternatives now, people. Okay, guys, some player alternatives now if you don't have some of the players I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So basically the formation, if I was in the early arenas, for example, I'd field something like this. Okay, so the keeper would be the same as stopper or whoever else you have available. Now at the back we've got a very simple thing going on for us. We have two explorers here, just basically to have people with the marking trait who are also very fast, or at least fast enough in those arenas to tackle whatever fast players there are against you. We have two guys on the wings, or as left and right backs rather, who just stay put and are pretty responsive, so that is always good. You can create your play at the back thanks to them. Then in the middle of the field we have the architect. You can play, again, as I said in the beginning, guys, you can play a dozen different players in this position. You can play an architect, a producer, an engine. All of them are pretty okay. I think I would go with the architect because he takes a few touches with the ball, but those touches would help your team progress up the field and help everyone get into position. So I would play the architect. Now, I mean, I wouldn't argue with you if you'd play someone else, of course. Then there are a few like similar faces here. We have the guard, who would still be played there in my opinion. He is a regular player, as is Sokolov, as is the Prowler here, of course, so I'd keep those in the same spot. I wouldn't change anything. If you want, which is also a very good kind of idea, but I mean, I'd get some kind of criticism for this, I'd play an infiltrator if you don't yet have Sokolov or anyone else that you would like to play. Infiltrators are, although they dribble a lot, they're pretty good. They're fast in the attacking third, especially as a center forward I'm talking about. They pass the ball a lot towards the back, which is a very good thing. You need your striker ideally to kind of help your team out a bit, and an infiltrator in this case, along with his okay shooting, is a good candidate there. Although I would always prefer Sokolov, the Menace, or whatever variant of the Menace you have. Then the different things are two, basically, guys. The Intruder, who is a fast player, very fast player, who rushes down the wing and provides an assist. His shooting isn't good, but you don't need him really to shoot that much. He won't be shooting as often as you think. And Intruder would be really good there. The other kind of a good option to Sandberg is the engine, guys, because the engine is smarter with the ball than Sandberg, it has to be said, although he doesn't have as good of a shot, of course. But Zukic here will help you kind of, recycle possession. He'll help you even dive into an attacking position along with Sokolov to maybe get you that all-important goal. So guys, that is it. Tell me what you think about this formation, what you would change if you even try it in events. I am going to try it in the next event. I love it so much. It clicks in a very unique way. It is a very unique formation on its own, guys. A 4-1-4-1 that becomes a 5-4-1, a formation that we don't even have in the game. That's insane. That's really, really good, guys. So I really urge everyone to try it. And I urge you all, of course, to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.